Charles growing up in Otisville. Here's Charles getting his graduation diploma from kindergarten from Mrs. Mahoney. Charles and Jimmy Craig over in Grandma's garden. Looks like Jimmy just came from a baseball game. Charles in the garden, Grandma's garden and Aunt Edna's garden. He was always over there helping them out. It's not Johnny Weissmuller. It's Charles getting ready to take a dip in his little pool. This is Charles and myself at the Catskill Game Farm. We used to go up there and meet the Brookses and the Whitenicks. Here's Charles over at Grandma Wilbur's. She used to make these Raggedy Ann dolls, and she made hundreds of them. So he's sitting on the couch with the dolls, and that's our dog King, who was a great dog unless he got loose, and when he got loose, he was a terror. This phase of pictures are of Christy. That's Christy and Lauren and Rob when they were young. That's Christy and myself at Carlsbad. Mike and I went out and visited her when we were motorhoming. This is Christy and my daughter Lauren. It was when we all went out to visit her when she was so sick. This picture was taken at Christy's house. It's myself, Christy, Kelly Decker, and Christy's friend Christine. Actually, Christine ended up buying her house after she passed. This picture was taken at Christy's birthday party, I believe the year before she passed away. It's one of my favorite pictures of the way they are with each other, and I've got a second one here that also is. I love these pictures. This is Christy, myself, and her friend Christine when we were out visiting. This was taken when we went out to visit her, and we went to Carlsbad, and this was at a restaurant. This was Christy's memorial out in San Diego. They planted a tree out there in her honor. This was taken in Lexington, Kentucky, so it would have been 1980, 81. Charles came to visit us. It's the only time I've ever seen him with a mustache. This is when Charles came to visit us when we lived in Chapel Hill. And I believe he came to go to a car show. Maybe in Hershey, I'm not really sure about that, but I think he was there for a car show. This is our Chapel Hill house, and Charles got his car in the garage and ours got put out so he could keep his hot rod in the garage. He pulled it out so we could take some pictures. Charles came down to the Charlotte Speedway, and Mike and I and Lauren went over to visit him. And so that's Charles, Lauren, and myself. Oops. Okay, the highlight of this trip was Charles got to drive his car around the Speedway. This is Lauren and myself. This is one of my favorite pictures taken down in Charles's garage. It was myself, my dad, Charles, Jerry, and Gerald. This was taken the same time as the picture with Jerry and Gerald. It's Charles, myself, and my dad. Not sure where this was taken, but it's a great picture of Charles. This is an early picture. I think it's shortly after Jerry and Joan moved into their house where they are now in Florida. So it's Jerry and Joan, Charles, and myself. This is a little later picture of Charles and I in his garage.